Shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Habakakadash. Double honors to the old apostles, great millstone, rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord, doing the same and teaching the same. All right. Quick clip. This a video of Esau, the so-called white man. Going in the ocean and oppressing, the creatures, the animals in the ocean. So this is a quick clip. This proof, okay? This is proof that Esau, the so-called white man, is the devil the Bible speaks of, okay? Us Hebrew Israelites, we're not making that up, all right? All you got to do is check Esau's track record, okay? Esau, the so-called white man. Okay, since Esau, the so-called white man, been in power, okay, the earth, he's been destroying the earth, okay? He's been polluting the earth. All right, animals are going extinct, okay? Different species are going extinct. All right. Esau, the so-called white man, he's splicing DNA. He's splicing DNA of plants, animals, and humans. All right, which goes against the Bible. All right. So in this video, you're gonna see Esau for no fucking reason just killing, a sea creature. All right. So these are crimes committed every day by Esau, the so-called white man. All right. I watched the video months ago. I mean, not video. I watched a movie months ago, with my wife, and it was a movie about buffalo hunting, and it had Nicolas Cage in there. All right, and it showed how, and this was based off a true story. It showed how buffaloes nearly went extinct because of Esau, the so-called white man, the devil, and Satan, that old serpent that the Bible speaks of. They was just hunting them for sport, hunting the buffaloes for sport. Okay, so Esau, the so-called white man, he's responsible for destroying the ozone layer, the atmosphere, destroying the air quality, destroying trees, nature, the ecosystem. All right, et cetera, et cetera. You're literally having bees. You're having a shortage of bees. Okay, thanks to Esau. All right. So it's so much more. It's so much more. Shit, you having a shortage of squirrels. Okay. Growing up, I used to see buku squirrels. Shit. Which two-thirds of our people, they also hunt squirrels for sport too, just to fucking do it, because they fucking wicked and it just passed by time, just to pass by the time. Okay. So basically, which we already know, Esau, the so-called white man, oppresses the Israelites to this very day, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, but in this video, we're focusing on how Esau is hurting and harming the animals that Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah created. Okay, so Esau, the so-called white man, he doesn't care for life. He doesn't respect none of the Most High's creations. Okay. So in movies they literally show Esau uses his imagination and his technology to show what would he do if he went out to outer space. If Esau went out to outer space, he would do exactly to other planets what he doing to this planet, and they show it in their movies. So that's why Esau, the Lord is gonna take Esau out of power. All right. When the Lord and the angels come back to the earth, they're going to take Esau out of power. All right. So, and ultimately, the Lord is using World War III to take the Edomites out of power. Okay. So, without further ado, we're going to play this clip. All right. So prepare yourselves. It is sensitive, for those that, such as myself, that truly care about the creations of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. So prepare,
Oh my God, no! G, he did not deserve this. Why? You in his house? The result of what happened does not match what happened. The punishment did not fit the crime. Gang, all he did was take a little nibble. All he did was bite you, G. You probably ain't even feel it through the glove. Nigga said, I'ma teach you something. I'ma teach you something. That nigga said, no, and patted that motherfucker. And then proceeded to rip his fucking snout off in agony. I know he's screaming. I know Aquaman hear all them screams. Look at his little eyeball, G. He's in anguish. You can see it. G, somebody called Peter. This is not right. You went into that man's house bothering him. He bit you a little bit and you ripped his fucking face off? Damn, Leatherface. What, you gonna wear it next? This shit has to be a crime, bro. There's no way this is legal, gang. You gotta put this nigga in a chair or something. I ain't gonna lie, folks. Like, this is crazy.
Okay. So, and Esau, wicked as the so-called white man and the so-called white woman, they be having sex with their dogs, cats, parrots, okay, talking birds, the whole nine, okay. They be having sex with their cattle, horses, all right. So that's why we need salvation, okay. That's why we need the Lord to come back to the earth and establish righteousness, okay, because these people are insane, and they're the devil the Bible speaks of, okay. So Jeremiah 51:25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh, which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. Okay? So the Lord is going to destroy the Edomites for destroying the earth. Okay? Plain and simple. Isaiah 14:4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, all right, Babylon the Great America, all right, and who's the king of Babylon, all right, Donald Trump, okay, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased, right, because the Lord is using his evil angels, evil spirits, demons, to plague Babylon the Great America. All right, and to manipulate the kings of the earth, like the scriptures talk about the 3 unclean frogs, all right, and things like that. So, these angels, all right, on the left hand side and on the right, they're what? They're manipulating, the governments around the world to what? Go to war, World War III. These demons are destabilizing, doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, destabilizing these different societies. All right. That's a part of Babylon the Great America and the NATO and the EU, which the NATO and the EU forms that great red dragon, which is the reborn ancient Roman Empire. All right. So that's why you got what? Chaos and things like that on the earth. All right. That's why you got so much evil growing on the earth and wickedness. All right. So it says, verse 5, it says, the Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Okay, so the Lord has broken your power. You're losing power every single day. Salakia, you're losing power every single day. You know, we're watching the downfall of our oppressors, okay? Our colonizers, our enemies, okay? So they're losing power, they're confused, they're divided, their governments are divided, all right? Their kingdom is divided, and they're going to war, World War III, okay? So it says, He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest, and is quiet, they break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Right? You know, so, you know, nature, you know, the earth, the plants, the animals, the insects, you know, everything on this earth is being oppressed. You know, first and foremost, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But all of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah's creation is being oppressed. Okay? Is being oppressed by Esau, the so-called white man. All right? So that now you know who the Lord is against. The Lord is against Esau, the so-called white man. And the Lord is going to make a prime example out of Esau, the so-called white man. Okay? So Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to end it and give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Harakak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord, doing the same, teaching the same. Shalom.